Mr. Anthony Disa, a very senior IAS officer who was the former Chief Secretary of Madhya Pradesh, Goan by birth, he is in Goa now. I have on my left Dr. Satish Shetty, who was the former Director of NIO, former Vice Chancellor Goa University. He is also part of this expert committee. We have Dr. Sunil Singh, the current Director of NIO, who is not here with us right now, but he is also part of the expert committee. So the government has formed this 4-member expert committee to select the young scientists. It's called the Manohar Parrikar Yuva Scientist Award for the year 2023. Now, the objective of this scheme is to encourage young scientists in the country who have achieved excellence in the field of science and technology, to encourage young generation towards science and technology, and to identify and reward talent in innovation and decimate success stories. The candidates will be judged on 2 factors. One is the impact of the work done, and the second is a viable action plan for future research at the applicant's institution. These are the requirements. So before I proceed, I will request Dr. Kakodkar to speak about the scheme.
Well, thank you, Mr. Naraman, and thanks to all my colleagues on the committee, as well as all of you students there. First of all, I want to thank Government of Goa for this wonderful initiative. The Manohar Parrikar Yuva Scientist Award. I think it's an initiative to recognize young people who have achieved a level of excellence, and also, as Mr. Narana mentioned, there is a potential for going further and making larger contribution by way of scientific research in the country. And I think even to conceive such an award is a significant event, and it looks to me that Government of Goa certainly deserves to be complimented for this initiative. If I can make some broader remarks about the importance of such awards. See, India going forward, we have 3 challenges, and both are very strongly linked with the technological progress that we make in the country. One is to be a technology leader, at least in the critical domains, or if possible in all domains which have large economic importance, and that one can become if our S&T capability is comparable with the best in the world. And that's one kind of direction in which the country must proceed, and that's where encouraging young people is very important. The second dimension is, of course, as the country grows, as the economy progresses, so also there is issue about growth of disparity, and we need solutions which will minimize the disparity while the economic growth takes place. And that means, again, technology which will bridge the different divides that we have in the country. And today, with digital technologies backed up by AI, ML, and technologies of this kind, I think a lot can be done to carry out this project. And that's also, along with that, there are other applications of technology. So, but that's also an important domain of S&T where one can make contribution on the national scale. So, I think there are a lot of young people, very enthusiastic. They have done some very great work, and I do hope that we'll have a very strong response. It is already been put in the I would imagine that we will be able to carry this message further. The call for proposals from the prospective scientists has been put in the domain, and I'm sure you would have a copy of this call for proposals. As Mr. Narona mentioned, my colleagues on the committee, Mr. Anthony Disa, Dr. Shetty, Dr. Singh, they are also here. So they can also supplement these remarks, and also they can respond to any queries that you may have. So with this, I must return back to Mr. Narona, expressing great happiness that we have a chance, I have a chance to be a part of this important endeavor. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Narona.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor. So if Mr. Disa would like to add a few points.
Actually, there is nothing particular to add now to what Mr. Narona and Dr. Kakodkar had said, excepting that for this to be a really great success and for us to choose the right person who has not only achievements to his credit but also has plans for the future in science research or innovation, technology innovation for the benefit of society, we would have to get the widest possible, applications from the widest possible cross-section of eligible young people. And we count on your, you see, advertisements will be given and all that is there, but we count on your cooperation to take this message to the widest possible audience. Because if applications don't come in the proper numbers and from the proper people, then we cannot make it a success. So we count on you. The 15th of September is the last date for bringing in applications, so we have more than a month's time, and we really look forward to the cooperation of the media to take this message to all young Indian scientists who think that they are eligible to apply for this award.
No, I think both of you have covered just about everything that needs to be said. The most important message here is how do we get this announcement across the country, because this is an award for any Indian citizen, and we would very much like to see the better known institutions, the organizations, technologies from across the country expressed interest in this award. We, under Dr. Kakodkar's leadership, we expect to rope in the best of our scientists to make the final selection so that this becomes one of the prestigious Young Scientist Awards of the country.
Yeah, so before we end this, I will just give a very quick recap of the last week. A quick recap. So, we celebrate Mr. Parikar's birth anniversary, that's on 30th December every year, and we have a Goan Reporter Vigyan Mahotsav. It's a lecture series that happens at NIO and various other institutions across Goa. Most of the colleges in Goa, government colleges, we have eminent speakers who come. This year also we will do it, but last year, that is on 30th December 2022, the Honorable Chief Minister of Goa made this announcement that there will be the Goan Reporter Yuva Scientist Award. A scheme has been drawn by the Department of Science, Technology and Waste Management under the directorship of Mr. Levinson Martins and the current minister, Mr. Atanasio who has been also very helpful, very cooperative, and he has also pushed this scheme forward. Through this medium that we are addressing right now, we look forward for a lot of scientists to come from renowned institutes like Dr. Shetty said, IITs, IISCs, etc., who will participate in this. This scheme is open to any Indian individual below the age of 35 as on 31st December of last year, 2022. It carries a cash prize of 5 lakh rupees and a citation that will be presented on this year's Mahotsav is on 13th December of this year. We have to select Dr. Kakodkar has been insisting, we have set a high standard. We ensure that really great scientific research work is appreciated and awarded on that day. And hopefully to all of you, we should be able to reach forward. Now we have made a small announcement that Dr. Kakodkar will open, or to be open it here. Yeah. That's one second. Doctor will just unveil the water.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
So if you have any questions, it's open. If you have any questions to ask.
What kind of program are you planning to encourage the students to have a scientific temperament among the students of Goa?
Program in sense, see
Different type of programs among the school children so that they will have more interest in scientific.
Okay, so now this is aside from this Yuva Scientist Award. So we have the Goa State Innovation Council. Incidentally, I am chairman of that as well, under again DST. So we have an office or the secretariat at Don Bosco College in Margao, in Patorda. We do a lot of programs across the state. In fact, in almost every school, we have a program for them to understand exactly what is innovation, how it works. And we have got a young innovator award scheme that's given from class 5 to class 8 is one award, and class 9 and class 10 is a second award. And we have had a lot of projects that come to us from school children, school students, which is a program every year it gets better. This is the third year that we are having the program again. So in that way we reach out to them. The Innovation Council only prepares the roadmap for the ecosystem that we have to create. Eventually there are bodies like the startup that the government of Goa has got, or the Department of Science, or Department of Information Technology. They also have schemes for startups. But the innovation, like you said, temperament is created from class 5 to class 12 through the Innovation Council by doing the small program, the training programs, exposing them. We have a lab in Patorda College called a Tod Fort Jod lab, or a lab where they can go make, break, remake, re-break things, where they learn, with their hands, skills they learn. They learn robotics, they learn to do 3D printing, we got 3D printers with them. So that way their exposure is there, and schools from across Goa are taken there and shown, they spend a day, they learn. We target rural schools, a lot of government schools, we go there, we conduct programs there. So there's a lot of interest generated, but eventually it has to culminate into something bigger, and that will come out when we have probably the Goan from that type who gets this award. That will be the greater achievement that we have to do.
This is first award, first time.
Yeah, it's an annual award. The scheme calendar, it will be an annual award now.
And it's probably the highest, the largest carries the largest prize money. I think also the Bhatnagar award also carries 5 lakhs, and this also carries 5 lakhs. So there is no larger or higher scientific award in the country in terms of prize money.
I have a question which is not related to the award per se, but it is for Dr. Kakodkar if he would be there. Dr. Kakodkar, I would want to know your views on the very regressive decision taken to exclude the periodic table, the Pythagorean theorem, and Darwin's evolution theory from curriculum in the school level by NSERT. If you have a view and if you would like to express your view on this particular issue. Because it's very regressive for creating a scientific temper among the young student community.
the day-to-day happenings, and it's actually news for me that something has been taken out. Periodic table, of course, is a very important element of both learning science and important element of scientific progress that has been made. But I don't have full details about what has happened and what is the logic behind whatever has happened. So it's difficult for me to comment in very specific manner. But I can make some broad observation, and that is, the world of knowledge is expanding so fast. There is so much of addition taking place, and when we design the curriculum, education curriculum, obviously in the learning process of students, one has to make sure that initially we kind of get children to understand the concepts, at least the important concepts on which the entire edifice of scientific research is based. And then also, depending on the specific area the child wants to go towards the higher standards or even in college, then we sort of go to the boundary, to go to the frontier of that particular subject. So within that time you have to cover all of it. And with the continuous expansion of knowledge, how you build that knowledge is actually a challenge before the educationist. And so it is quite possible that there must be some logic, and it can't be adding everything, so something has to be dropped. And particularly new education policy, we are trying to be more comprehensive in the sense at the school level, in addition to science, we want children to get to know a lot in other areas, the humanities, the culture, the arts, the things in nature. So such compromises may have happened, and there may be opinion as to what is important and what is not. But I'm sure if the feedback is given, people will deliberate on that and come to right conclusions. But I'm sorry, I can be only general. I don't have specific information.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
We will have some program on the day of the award ceremony.
We'll prepare it ahead of due time. This is time, this is 30th of December.
Okay.
This is not
Any plans to kind of disseminate this with specific institutes like the IIT?
Yeah, that's already planned. We have made an email to send across everywhere. There is a journal called the Coming Science that also it is going to appear, I think, by another couple of weeks. 25th of this month. We are going to, because if we don't spread across the country, we are not going to get applications.
Exactly.
So we will do that. And we
Especially some of the recognized research institutions.
Yeah, and we request you all also to propagate this as far as possible.
Our age is limited to go, so.
Yeah, national newspapers, you can go there, it's good. And now it goes on social media, so that was WhatsApp.
Sir, participant will be judged on what basis?
Participant, in fact, there's two things there. There are judged on two things I just said earlier. The impact of the work done so far, and the second is a viable action plan for future research at the applicant's institution. So they are working in some scientific institution. But I can say that.
Yeah, the basic idea is we would like to identify excellence based on the work carried out so far. But even more important than that is we would like to see people who are going to continue that excellence, tradition of excellence, work in India and thereby become productive in India, thereby setting an example to others. That is the main objective. So there are two main criteria. First is showing excellence as it exists now, and then a promise of further research on similar lines to propagate excellence further within the country. So these are the two main goals of this award.
So is this award limited to particular branch of science or
It's open to all branches of science and technology.
space to?
Yes. And technology also, it's not restricted only to science.
That is the condition that you should not leave the country.
Well, if the second part of what I mentioned, the candidate will need to make a presentation before experts identified by this committee to examine the proposals.
The shortlisted applicants.
Shortlisted applicants, yeah. Now, the purpose of that presentation is to probe the candidate as to how viable the project is, how supportive the institution is for the completion of the project, and thereby creating confidence in us that the person is serious about what is being attempted, what is proposed for carrying out. So the committee, to the best of its ability, will identify those who are going to continue in the country and carry on a record of excellence which they have shown in the past, carry it on in the future.
See, in the plans for the future that he gives, he or she presents, it can be for future research, additional more research based on what he has already done, and he or she needs to research that further, in which case he will make a case for it, or it may be for application of research already undertaken by him. How he will apply this for the social benefit or the national benefit. So it can be either of the two.
So only one award will be awarded, right?
Only one.
Per year, one per year.
Mr.
Maybe
Narona,
Dr. Kakodkar would like to comment on this point which was raised, why exactly are we giving this award?
No, I think, Shekhi, you said it all. I don't need to say much further. But, yeah, the point is, as I said, hopefully we will be able to create examples before the society where people have done kind of demonstrated high excellence in doing scientific research or being very innovative in creating some development which has high impact on the society. But more important than that is this aspect that we would like to see the individual remaining active in pursuing that path of scientific research, technology build-up. Again, number one, the definition of the objective, the problem statement on which the individual is planning to work. That would be important. The strategy for going on that path would be important. And also one has to assess the credibility that yes, whatever is being planned can be credibly achieved. And once this is done, hopefully we will be able to set up good examples before the society or other young people who might want to pursue similar pathway in their own area of research or pursuing their own scientific ideas. So, award, and of course, idea is to recognize excellence, that is the first objective, that will be achieved, but also create a larger motivation and interest among other young people to pursue similar level of excellence or for that matter exceed the level of excellence that what they must. So that's what I would like to say. Thank you.
I have one more question for.
Yeah.
I have one more question for Dr. Kakodkar. Yeah. Doctor, what is your take on artificial intelligence? What do you feel? Because people, it is feared that it will lead to more unemployment.
I'm sorry, I couldn't get the question. Artificial intelligence what?
People fear that it will lead to more unemployment. So what is your take on that?
More on?
Unemployment. It will give rise to more unemployment.
Unemployment. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
See, well, that's an important question. So I look at this issue as both an challenge as well as an opportunity. Now, this is quite true. You know, even why artificial intelligence is a significant evolution in this whole ladder. But this challenge began even with mechanization and automation. And there has always been this issue that technology or machines, they actually contribute to the human capability. Human capability gets multiplied several folds. So there is always this question that if a machine or a human with the help of a machine can do work of several people, would that displace other people from the work opportunities? And now the other aspect of looking at this challenge as an opportunity is the fact that you know, if I have to do the old way with the traditional or leveraging old technologies, then I can take value addition up to a particular level or a wealth generation up to a particular level. If I can do with technology with better capability at my hands, then I can do value addition or wealth creation at a much, much higher level. Now, in addition to, of course, the challenge that in the process I have made several people jobless, that challenge has to be met squarely. But we must recognize that when you create larger economic activities, several new jobs also get created. And perhaps some of those new jobs are at a much higher level. And for example, if you are talking about now, taking the same example all the way up to artificial intelligence, then for example, several aspects of repetitive work which does not require kind of so much of involvement of individuals, which were earlier being done through automation or through robotics. Now, if I back it up with artificial intelligence, I can probably do that work at a much higher level, something kind of on, I would say on par with something what human beings could do in many areas, maybe artificial intelligence could do. So I can do intellectual work of several people. Now, but then there are other aspects. You want to create these artificial intelligence products. I think it opens up a lot of very high-level opportunities for a lot of people. And more importantly, in terms of, for example, several services open up because of technology, particularly digital technology. And it creates jobs at all levels, not necessarily only at very high level, all levels. But we have to recognize that it's a change in the complexion of the work opportunities, and we have to be continuously reskilling, reorienting, retraining young people to be able to leverage those opportunities. And so education, I think education should not be seen as, I go to the school, go up to 12th standard, and go to college, go up to some level and exit. And that does not mean the end of education. Today's world, we should emphasize lifelong learning. And also, the technology is changing. So even if I have been exposed to some technology during my education phase, I may have to deal with the different technologies during my professional career. So this lifelong learning is a continuous activity, and so the growth of economy can happen in an exponential way. One can question whether one needs to work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 365 or 52 weeks a year, or maybe instead of 5 days or other higher level activities, higher level intellectual activities, artistic activities, creative activities. Now, artificial intelligence can help in creating creative activities, but there could be some very synergistic contribution between machine backed up with artificial intelligence and human intelligence, and there are some examples. So I think it's a progress in a high direction, but there are challenges, and we must deal with those challenges so that everybody benefits. So the last word I want to use in this context is technology should be deployed in a manner where it benefits everybody, empowers everybody, but exploits none. Many times if technology starts exploiting others, then there is a problem, and that is for us to organize deployment of technology in a skillful way so that you have the benefits but not have the bad effects. Thank you.
Sir, अनेक प्रश्न. Kakodkar sir.
Yes.
सर यंग सायंटिस्टांचा जेव्हा आपण शोध घेण्याचा प्रयत्न करताय, हा अवॉर्ड आयोजित केला जातोय, शालेय जीवनातच विद्यार्थ्यांना आवड निर्माण व्हावी यासाठी सरकार किती प्रयत्नशील आहे सर?
ते मला पूर्ण ऐकून नाही आलं. Can somebody repeat the question?
सर, यंग अचीवर सायंटिस्ट अवॉर्ड हा विद्यार्थी शोध घेताना कुठेतरी शालेय जीवनातच सायन्स विषयी आवड निर्माण व्हावी यासाठी सरकार स्तरावर किती प्रयत्न होत आहेत?
नाही, पुष्कळ प्रयत्न होतात. म्हणजे गोव्याबद्दल स्पेसिफिकली नवना साहेब जास्त चांगलं सांगू शकतील, पण ब्रॉडली I think there are a lot of activities. आपलं त्यांनी सांगितलं शाळेच्या म्हणजे to encourage talent at school level. There are programs. मला स्वतःला माहिती आहे गोवा गव्हर्नमेंटचा एक प्रोग्राम होता where the people who kind of pass out in 12th standard and then they get admission in reputed colleges both in India and abroad. Goa government had an excellent scheme to financially support such students to go to higher level. And
Connection is
already explained. Very well part of the
Innovation.
we already explained that innovation.
What is the law?
Yes, sir. Audible answer. We can hear you.
What is the law and what is that selected to get 20 lakhs? Very well part of it.
Okay, but anyway, let's not digress from that. Other that your things will not be. Can it, I want attention more to be on this side. Okay.
So जो award winner असतलो पळय तेच्या फुडल्या रिसर्चाक गव्हर्नमेंट हेल्प करतली फुडल्या रिसर्चाक फर्दर रिसर्चाक
Don't talk to me. Yes, doctor. There's a problem with the line here. Linkage, we can only see on the mobile for some reason. We are trying to connect. But I will speak to them about the schemes that we have for encouraging scientific temperament among children in schools and colleges. Yeah, so I think so. So I think we will. If you have anything to do with this question, otherwise we will.
Yeah, with regard to your question, there is no research grant associated with this award.
ना कोण विनर असतलो पळय तेका फर्दर गव्हर्नमेंट बाकी कितें हेल्प करपाक रेडी आसतली
No, and in this particular scheme, there is no commitment of that
Okay.
kind. He will have to try other means of supporting his research.
Get grants from foundations.
Yeah, but once you get a grant award like this, it helps you to get
Helps
other
you to
grants.
get those
It
grants.
is quite a footing for you.
सो तुमचो मेसेज जावन कितें आसतलो पार्टिसिपेट ना
Now, as far as possible, as far as practical, as many applicants as we can get from people who are qualified, who are eligible with all our conditions here to apply, so that the committee that meets to screen and select has a choice from where we can get. And then we select the persons who are really, who set the standard within the first year we are doing it. We have to have very high standard, set the standard from this year. So next year onwards, when people know who was the award winner last year, it starts to grow from there. Okay, that's the thing, unless you want to add anything more.
No, I think that's.
Yeah. So please join us for tea, and thank you for coming once again.